Hello creators, and welcome back to another video. Today, we will be taking a look at one of the most crucial skills every 2D animator should have, and that is storyboarding. Well, if you already watched an animated movie with insane fight scenes and thought, whoa, how did they make it flow so well? Well, an amazing animation first starts with an equally amazing storyboard. So whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, this video is for you. So grab your tablet or sketchpads and let's learn more about how to storyboard like a pro. Alright, first things first, we have to ask the question, what is storyboarding really? The short answer would be, think of it as a blueprint for your animation. But in more details, it is a sequence of rough sketches that will dictate the flow of a scene. So that will help you determine and show the timing, emotion, action, and camera angles. That is before you get into the nitty-gritty of animating every single frame. So the main point of this would be less about drawing and more about storytelling, movement, and setting the rhythm for how your scene unfolds. So imagine the storyboard as your guide that will let you make mistakes now so you don't have to end up reanimating an entire scene later. Trust me, it saves a lot of time. So, before we get started, we need tools. So whether you want to do it traditionally with pen and paper or going digital, there is many options to choose from. And of course, there is no better tool, because as long as it gets the job done and lets you draw things, you can never go wrong. Just make sure to find a setup that lets you sketch and adjust things efficiently, since all of this is about speed and experimentation. Setting up the panels. Now that you have your tools, it's time to get them hands dirty. Your storyboard will be structured kind of like a comic book, with multiple panels showing different actions or scenes. So start with your building blocks, aka panels, in the shape of boxes, and then put them side by side while labeling each one of them. For example, shot 1, shot 2, etc. And of course, make sure to leave room between them so you can add comments and instructions on how the scene should play out. For example, you can add a speech bubble with text that can be said, or for example, a comment that says, character will stand up from a chair, or character will turn his head to face the camera. And in case your shot is still going and you need more details, you can always have 2 panels or more for the same shot, signaling that there will be no camera cut. Just make sure that the shots have the same name. Planning the scene. Now this is where the real magic happens. Since you have your panels ready, it is time to make them come to life. Here, you will draw a rough sketch that will show the key moment of each shot. Of course, you have to think of what is important to display and what should the audience feel. Let me give you an example. Let's say that your character is making a big leap. So draw the important keyframes like anticipation, when the character is in the air, and the landing. And then think about the camera angle. How should it be? Should it follow the character, a side view, or maybe even an overhead shot? The possibilities are endless, so you can either make it exciting by switching angles, zooming in or out, or something more calm. It's up to you, so this is where you let your creative juices flow. Of course, it doesn't have to be fancy or a masterpiece, it just has to be enough to convey the idea of how the action and movement should be. The rest will come later. Timing. Whenever we mention animation, one thing that always comes up to mind is timing. A good animation, of course, must have a smooth timing and pacing. So let's look a bit deeper on how to nail all of these points. Ever had a feeling that some animations drag for too long, or sometimes it moves so fast that you have a hard time grasping what is happening? So these, for example, are often attributed to timing and pacing. Let's take another example of a character walking a long distance. The long shot might make it seem slow and introspective, but you can spice it up by using quick cuts to add tension or excitement, just enough to keep your audience engaged. For example, changing the angle to the character's face and then have him look around. Maybe an overhead shot, or maybe a camera shot from the back. Add all of these little details as comments below your panels just to decide on how long each shot will last. This is the moment to feel free to experiment and give your animation pacing and timing. Just keep in mind that shorter shots add energy, like fighting or a chase scene for example, while longer ones give some breathing room, like a dialogue for example, or even the long walk that we mentioned. Or maybe both, why not? Transitions. Alright, let's talk transitions. This will be the secret sauce that will make sure your animation is flowing from one shot to the next. In storyboarding, transitions show us how the scenes are connected and will help add tons of mood and momentum. And for this purpose, there are multiple transitions you can play with, so let's have a look at some of them. The cut. Fast, clean, and direct. You won't find a more straightforward transition. This is the bread and butter of transitions in animations. A cut goes directly from one shot onto the next without any fading or any effect. It's fast, it's efficient, and keeps the energy high, so it's perfect for action scenes with fast-paced moments. Dissolves and fades. The smooth and softer transitions that stretches the time a bit. Fades are basically when one scene fades to black and then fades into another scene. A dissolve, on the other hand, blends one shot directly into the next, making them overlap a bit, which is perfect for flashbacks. And then you have the wipe, a fun and visual way to move between scenes. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen a wipe before, in cartoons for example. It is when a shot pushes or wipes over the previous one, usually with a line, a shape, or even another design, like a logo for example. And this is only a few out of many, so gotta explore them all and play with them as you see fit. Emotions. Storyboard aren't just about moving characters around, but it's also about making your audience feel something. Let's say that your storyboard has a big and emotional moment. Make sure that your character's expressions and body language really stand out. So you can use different methods, like tilting the head a bit, or even a little eye squint can totally change the tone of a scene. In animations, big expressions can really sell the moment, so go all out and do not be afraid to sometimes exaggerate the expressions. You can even use squash and stretch animation principles to really drive that point home. So, characters, check. Actions, check. Expressions, check. Now, we need to add some depth to all of this, and there is no better way to do that than adding background. The background is usually what sets the scene. Again, it doesn't have to be super detailed or fancy, but adding a few elements can help you plan the space better. So always ask yourself these questions. Where are my characters? What is around them? Are they in a forest, a small city, or maybe a scary manor or a dungeon? After you have that, you can go ahead and add the relevant elements. For example, a few simple lines for walls, or a few trees, maybe some furniture or decorations, you name it. This will add context to your scene and will help you position your characters and camera accordingly. Reviewing. Now that you have everything set up, it is time to do a quick check before you start animating. The first thing to take a look at is the flow. So imagine your scenes playing in real time and ask yourself these questions. Are my scenes clear enough? Are the actions easily understandable? Does the timing feel right? Or can I maybe use a better camera angle? So take this moment and refine and tweak the small details just in case you are not satisfied. Maybe add some more arrows or more notes or comments to show movement if needed. But the main point is, do not be afraid to make drastic changes to your work. You can do as much tweaks as you want until it feels just right. Remember, making changes in the storyboard is much easier and more time efficient than in the real animation. And here's a pro tip. If you are working in a team, try to get some feedback from your colleagues. You never know. Another pair of eyes can maybe spot things you might have missed, or can even suggest a different approach you haven't thought of. And there you have it. You are now ready to start storyboarding like a pro. It might feel like a big task, but remember, each panel brings your vision ever closer to life. So go out there, start sketching, and make some insane animations. If you found this video helpful, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and of course, let us know in the comments what scenes you have in the works or what you are planning. Thanks for watching and keep creating!